The following is from an article from a newspaper which I was sent, and it states, Strumble Head Lighthouse. The new lighthouse, which has been under construction during the past 2 years on Strumble Head, brackets Pembrokeshire, was successfully inaugurated on Monday night. A committee of the Elder Brethren of the Trinity House, accompanied by Mr. Matthews, the corporation's engineer-in-chief, were present when the light was first exhibited at sunset on that day. The light, which has an intensity of upwards of 400,000 candles, is white in colour and shows 4 flashes in quick succession every 15 seconds. The lighthouse is also fitted with an explosive fog signal, which, in thick and foggy weather, will give 2 explosions in quick succession every 10 minutes. This foghorn was eventually electrified in 1969. It was a tannoy triple frequency foghorn with 36 emitters, all giving 4 blasts every 60 seconds. The light on this station was originally paraffin lit, and then it was converted to electricity in 1949, so converted to an electric light in 1949, and the station was fully electrified in 1965. The station was automated in 1980 when the keepers were withdrawn, and the station was then monitored and looked after by the keepers from St Anne's Head Lighthouse in Pembrokeshire. Straight into the passageway, down the far end can be seen the base of the tower and then the engine room. First we start in the kitchen stroke lounge where the keepers would spend their month. It's just a basic kitchen, and that thing on the wall with the blue stripe bits, that's a water filter. In days gone by it used to be catch all the water off the roof and then through the filters. Now down into the engine room. Now this station would be powered by mains electric, and in here you'd have 1 diesel standby generator in case the mains fails, and that green thing on the floor is an electric alternator for the foghorn which is behind you there. And this is the Lister diesel engine. Very reliable on lots of lighthouses. There's the Trinity House toolbox. And these are the controls for the fog signal. I remember those well from different lighthouses I've been on. That behind there is the 36 emitters that gave the 4 blasts every 60 seconds. That's a closer view of the thing. Now we're back in the base of the tower. That green tube used to hold a wire with a weight on it slowly descending down the tower, which drove a clockwork mechanism up top, which drove the lens around when this was a paraffin light. But nowadays that's no longer used. They're the diamond-shaped panes of glass that you see on the outside of most lighthouse lanterns. They're the spares. Now we're heading up to a very short tower. Now we enter the service room. This contains the remainder of that green tube and a curved cupboard made to fit the wall that used to house all the bits and pieces for the paraffin lights, like the mantles or the other bits that made up the burner. But nowadays, or then when I visited, were the electric light bulbs, and that underneath was the little sink. We now go up the final flight, which in most lighthouses, or every lighthouse I've ever been on, is the steepest. Now in the lantern room, the lens you pass on your right and those blanked off sections on the wall used to be brass slide-in vents for when this lantern or this lighthouse used to be paraffin operated to give the light some air to breathe. Now we have 2 electric motors underneath. One drives it round all night, the other is standby. This lens weighs many tons and it's floating on mercury, so easy to move. The rollers that you see every now and then underneath only guide it, they don't take the weight. And in behind there you see 2 bulbs, one on, one standby. This inscription on the wall is from Psalm 127 from the Bible. Except the Lord build the house, they labour in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman maketh but in vain. I've seen this inscription on 4 lighthouses now. 2 of them were the Eddystone lighthouses. One was Smeaton's Tower, which was removed from the Eddystone rocks when the rock it was built on was beginning to crack. So it's now re-erected on the Hoe in Plymouth, down in Devon. Then you've got the Eddystone that replaced it that's out to sea, that has it carved in the wall, the same as Smeaton's Tower one. And then you have Truandy up on Anglesey, that's carved into the wall there. And there you have this one, Strumble Head, and that is supposedly carved into a piece of slate. But the other 3 lighthouses only do the first 2 lines, not the full set of 4 as this one has. Since the demise of the Lighthouse Keeper, this lighthouse is now monitored exclusively from the Trinity House Control Centre in Harwich in Essex. And this lighthouse you can quite often see dolphins, porpoise and the occasional whale, as well as all the seabirds that frequent this coastline.